This is perhaps one of the greatest miracles of the Quran of our age. Like the AI age, you can use AI to study it. I call it the architecture of omission. From it, you get this like divine aperture to view things through which like Quran light flows. And I've been publishing on it on tobeamuslim.com. Just search for these articles like the Quran is a light, a clarification of everything, and this other one, divine aperture, the architecture of omission, and so on. Now the Prophet, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, I have been sent with Jawani al-Kalim, the shortest expression carrying the widest meanings. It's amazing, bro. I compiled different terms that you can use to like appreciate what this is. The one that captures me the most is this one, number 5. The Quran omits whatever would make the verse smaller. So by this architecture of omission, the verse becomes wider, larger. So there are different names that you can use to, consider what this is or to appreciate it. One is, it's like a holograph. In mathematical theory, you have the invariant theory. Like when you rotate a circle, the area is that you get is an invariant. So you're like getting the smallest invariants that carry the largest variables. With a triangle, the angles of the triangle are together. And no matter how you adjust that triangle, like those angles are invariants. So you just get these smallest invariants. So with the Quran, you have the level of moral and ontological invariance of us, like tyranny, gratitude, surrender, betrayal, all these core aspects of humanity. This is what is captured in the Quran, which expands across time to any century and across multiverses, where all the encoding invariants, the Quran captures those and leaves out these other details that would reduce it and localize it to a time and a place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if the oceans was ink, and you can't contain his words, even if you bring another ocean of its like. Now, with this architecture of omission, you omit to expand the verse to cross time and place, and you create this device, this light that clarifies everything, bruh. So one of the best examples I like that exhibits this very clearly, we always say, Adam, why is his wife's name omitted? And then you have so many things omitted. How long did they spend in the cave? When would Rome be captured? Things are just that omission. It's signature of the Quran. Of course, starting with the disjointed letters, Alif, Lam, Mim, revealed secrets. So this is like the signature of the Quran. So the story of Adam's two sons in chapter 5, you see, O Prophet, the story of Adam and his two sons, how each offered a sacrifice. One's offering was accepted while the other's was not. So he threatened his brother, I will unalive you. His brother replied, Allah only accepts the offering of the sincerely devout. And then we go on. It says, if you raise your hand to unalive me, I will not raise my hand to unalive you because I fear Allah, the Lord of the world. Like, you can't find this. And then one of the things that when I'm analyzing this with AI, it tells me is, throughout 23 years of revelation, you have the same signature throughout the Quran of this architecture of omission, creating that divine aperture that lets it fit everybody in any time, any place, and any multiverse. So the story continues. I want to let you bear what your sin against me along with your other sins, then you will be one of those destined to the fire, and that is the reward of wrongdoers. Still, the other convinced himself to unalive his own brother, so he unalived him, become one of the losers. Him, his, the other, one to another. This is the story. You go from verse 27 down to, I think, verse 32. Then Allah sent a crow digging a grave in the ground for a dead crow in order to show him, no name, him, how to bury the corpse of his brother. He cried, alas, I have failed to be like this crow. And then we get to the conclusion of the story, the lesson that shows the expansion of how this now comes to apply to us, not just for murder, for so many activities, brother, sister, anybody, it fits because with this omission, we create a global universality that expands limitlessly on this principle. This is why we ordain for the children of Israel, whoever takes a life, unless as a punishment for murder or mischief in the land, it will be as if he has unalived all of humanity, and whoever saves a life, it will be as if he has saved all of humanity. Just check out that story. Him, his brother, but guess what you get out of it? Now, out of this architect of omission, you create the light, which you can now shine. You can find out, figure out who the two brothers are, that detail, and then you can shine it on every situation of your life. Like, bruh, this, I invite guys to keep on, like, let's bring out all we can get on these concepts. This is one of the greatest, most amazing miracles unique to the Quran.